Hello and welcome back to Strongman High's Dash. Life's a Mishmash. Today we have a very exciting episode because we are on the road, a little bit like carpool karaoke with a little bit less singing and no James Corden, so everyone can be happy. There might be a bit of singing, you never know. Today I have a very special guest, Emma Grunbum.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the podcast, Emma?
Yes, my name is Emma Victoria Grunbum. I have been part of Strongman for 18 months, I think. And so far, I have competed a lot. Because my coach told me the more you compete, the more used to it you get. So I entered everything.
True.
I am currently England's strongest natural woman,
Whoop.
and I am second in England overall in the non-neddy world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the UKNS one.
Second in the UK and Ireland as well. And I've just recently become the third strongest under 82 in Europe.
Woo! Very exciting, very exciting. So we have a bit of a mishmash of an episode today. We're going to do a little recap of Europe's because obviously that's just been, and we are currently on the road to Galway. Well, we're actually not. We're on the way to pick up Molly from Shannon Airport, so we might get a little cameo off her at the end of the episode. We might even save the silly goose until she's with us and we can all silly goose together. I'm not sure what the audio quality is going to be like, so apologies if it's not very good because obviously we are in the car. And everything is being safely done because Emma is actually in control of the podcast. She is an executive producer today, and I am just the talent and focusing on driving. So we'll do a little Europe's recap. How did you find Europe's?
I found it really stressful, actually.
Why did you find it stressful? You did so well.
I know, that's why it was so stressful, because I didn't expect to do that well, and because I immediately did well on day one, I felt like there was an immediate amount of pressure just from myself, because then I didn't want to stop doing well.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to do well now, so yeah, it was quite stressful. I feel like my heart rate was up there. My whoop band was saying my stress levels were very high all day. Not a spawn.
No, mine. I was similar, to be fair, but for opposite reasons, because I did terribly on the first day and then had a lot to claw back the second day. So it was like opposite world for us, that comp.
That was the other part of the stress, because I've never beaten you before. So like the fact that I was beating you on day one, I felt an enormous amount of pressure to try and really beat you.
That went well.
Didn't work. That's the closest I've ever been.
It was actually. I was having a little squeaky bum moments where I thought, oh no, she's going to do me this time. But luckily I managed to pull it back out of the bag.
It was close.
Got it out of the bag in the last minute. You just need to get better at overhead, don't you?
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, it was a really good competition. I actually, although it was like stressful, I think just because of the pressure we put on ourselves it was a very well-run really competition, wasn't it?
Yeah, so good. I loved it. It was one of my favourite competitions last year, and it's absolutely so far my favourite this year, because it's so well run. The organisers are so nice. It's just such a nice vibe. The people, all the athletes are really nice. The athletes area is always really chill. Like, it is just ace. I love it.
Yeah, and the Barbican was a really good venue for it as well. I thought it was just like, it was like nice and like a bit prestigious, wasn't it? And a bit fancy. But yeah,
and you had to get swiped in and out backstage, you're a celebrity.
Yeah, you did. And the staff were so friendly as well, weren't they?
Really
like the
nice.
Staff were absolutely bang on. Because sometimes you can get staff and venues that are a bit shitty and a bit not like happy with it, whatever's going on.
They were just loving it.
Yeah, they were having a whale of a time, so it was really good. Like, I kept getting asked like how I was doing by all the staff, and
same.
They're obviously coming in and watching little bits and pieces, and it was really nice for them to get involved too. So yeah, that was good fun. Well, let's do a little recap of our trip so far as well, because we've had a fairly
this trip.
Yeah, because we've done Europe's now. Do you want to say anything else about it?
No, but I know what you're going to say about this trip so far. You're going to blame all the stress on me.
It has, because it has been horrifically stressful by you. To be fair, no, it's been a joint mission of stress, I feel like, because obviously we had the tail end of a hurricane this morning to drive through. That was really nice and not stressful.
I've not been stressed.
I have. And then we got on the ferry and they were like, yeah, it's going to be really calm seas, it's fine. So obviously I ate my breakfast thinking everything will be fine. And then it wasn't. It was really, really rocky. And I've never been so close to throwing up. Like, it was absolutely horrendous. And then...
That was bad.
Obviously. And then and then the tyre pressure light came on. I think we've got probably a slow puncture, which we're just not going to deal with now. We're going to wait until it becomes a real issue, and then we'll deal with that later. And then as we got to border control, I said to Emma, "Oh, have you got your ID?" No. I thought she was joking. And she wasn't. She had no form of ID at all.
I forgot that you needed that.
We've gone to another country, overseas, and didn't bring any form of ID.
When are you going to put this out? You can't put this out while we're here because they might come and deport me. Because they'll know that I've not got any ID.
It will make my competition life a bit easier, won't it? I'm going to put it out tomorrow. See ya, Emma. No, yeah, but luckily they didn't actually check our ID because we obviously look like nice English girls, so they just let us straight through.
That was a few minutes of panic, wasn't it?
No problems at all. I bet they thought that we were lesbians, and if they asked us anything, we would have been like, "Are you discriminating against me? Do you think I'm a lesbian? And discriminate against me?"
Who's the butch one?
I don't think that's a hard question to answer, is it? Dickhead. But yeah, so it's been a fairly stressful morning. I've been awake since 1:30, so I'm not having my favouriteest day ever. Also trying to waterload, which isn't working. So yeah, really, really good, really good. It can only get better from here, surely. So yeah, that's been fun, and we're on our way to Natty World.
We're here now, yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel? How do you feel about this weekend? How's your week been this week? Your recovery? And how are you feeling for the weekend?
I feel good, better than I did because I think last weekend is out the way now, and obviously I did way better than I expected. So I feel like I've almost relaxed a little bit about this weekend.
Yeah.
It's given me a lot of confidence, definitely, and yeah, this week has just been a case of like getting through the week because obviously there was like a whole week of work squished into 3 days, then leaving at like 4:30 this morning.
Yeah.
So you've not really had time to think about it.
No, I feel very similar.
I'm excited now we're here and yeah, weigh in tomorrow and then like get in the zone.
Full send ready for Saturday. Yeah, no, I feel very similar. It was it's been a fairly stressful little week, hasn't it? Of full-time recovery.
And like we keep saying like this is such a stupid idea, like why have we entered both comps? But I can guarantee you if this happens again next year, we will still do both comps.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 100%. I think Europe's it was so good last year.
Such a good one to do.
Yeah, we had such a good we were so ready for it this year. Even though like maybe the events weren't as inspiring as we were hoping they were going to be, but like you can't have everything, can you? Like sometimes you have to let go of like these insane different events for the sake of venues, and that's fine because it was still really good fun.
It was so good.
But yeah, I think having them so close together, it's just hard, isn't it? Because like we've obviously had to train 13 different events.
Yeah, that's been a lot
in the prep, and then this week in between of like trying to get recovered enough to be able to then put on a good performance at Natty Worlds. But we were talking before about it, and like I think we both feel quite similar where we both feel a little bit less pressure for Natty Worlds now because we've both done really well at Europe, hit our goals or like succeeded our goals for what we had planned. That now going into Natty Worlds, obviously there's still the pressure that we want to do well and we want to do like as well as we did last year or better.
Yeah.
But it's almost giving you the excuse of like
we're knackered,
we're ruined, which obviously we're not going to use. Like I wouldn't go and post it on my Instagram and be like, well, I could have done better if I was more rested and
if we didn't do
more
time.
Yeah, like I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make the excuses because we've made the decision to do it. But like I think people will almost be expecting us to not do as well at this because we've just done Europes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot
more
less
feel
pressure. The stupid idiots. No, I definitely feel a little bit less pressure for it, so that's good. And it's like it's a nice place in it. We did the Irish Strength Cup, and that was really good fun.
I'm glad, yeah. I'm glad that we came over for that because we sort of had a recce, didn't we? And like,
yeah,
now we know where we're going and we're staying in the same house and things like that. So
yeah, it's a lot easier to
yeah.
deal with, isn't it? Like
So-
it's not as like unknown. But yeah, oh well, that's been good. Should we do some questions? So I'll put a Q&A out on Instagram, and your answer's going to be answered here because I can't be bothered to post them back on Instagram. So if you've asked me a question, hopefully you're listening to this. Otherwise, you'll never know the answer ever. So Emma's going to do our questions. What are we starting with?
The first question that we've got is, what events are we most looking forward to? Well, when I hear this question, the immediate question that comes into my head are, what are the events?
Oh my god. No. You have to know the events by now. Actually, to be fair, there is 8, and I've had to check
There's
up
a
on them a
lot
couple of
events.
times. Like when I trained on Tuesday, I had to go back and look through and double check to see what I was actually meant to be training, because I was like, I actually can't remember what I've been doing. What one are you most looking forward to, and why?
Well, I hate to be that obvious person, but obviously I really like deadlifts. So
Fair.
I am looking forward to deadlifts because I enjoy them, and I don't feel like I'm as stressed when it comes to a deadlift because I like doing them.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to that one, and the fact that it's a Kratos bar, which is like obviously a bit different.
Yeah.
Never had that before. And probably because again it's a little bit different, and I like both of the mishmash of events, the yoke into axle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that's the one I'm most looking forward to, just because I'm really good at it.
Yeah, it's just a bit different, and like I mean, I don't want to speak too. I don't want to jinx myself, but my yoke has come on so much since last year, like in training.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do there.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting event to see what other people do, and I think it'll throw a lot of the points like up as well.
Yeah.
What else is there? I like power stairs. I'm sad it's not the final event though.
Yeah.
I wish power stairs was a final event instead of the keg
thought
loading,
that,
because I feel like the keg loading I think will be exciting, but also a little bit barren.
I like power stairs.
Yeah, I just think they're a really good finishing event. I'm not looking forward to deadlift, obviously, for obvious reasons. And to be honest, I'm sort of half looking forward to, but then also half not looking forward to throwing bags, because I haven't really trained this at all because I just couldn't be bothered.
Well, you had it at that Irish comp.
Yeah, I trained it for the Irish comp, but obviously it was heavier, and like I had a bit of a game plan with that. Whereas this one, it's all really light, and it's like 45 seconds, like as fast as you can do it.
Yeah, it's a bit of pressure.
And I hate like, why are we doing it for speed? Like, where's the strength element in that? It's literally just who's going to be able to throw them faster.
Yeah, I do wish it was a bit heavier.
Yeah, like I genuinely think it should have been like heavy. It should have been finishing on a 17, 18 kilo bag, and it's not. It's finishing on a 14. So I think that's something I'm like not looking forward to, because it'll literally be a case of like who can press the timer the fastest, which I hate. But yeah, log ladder, I'm excited for that. Are you excited for that?
No.
Wow, you hit 80 the other day.
I know, but like everyone that follows my social media will know that the log has been my nemesis, and I have got much stronger in it, but I'm just not where I'd like to be going into this kind of competition. So.
Yeah, the thing is, I think you say you're not where you'd want to be, but you still got a very strong overhead for like an under 82.
Yeah,
definitely, compared to like the rest of the under 82s.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we? The proof will be in the pudding this weekend.
We will see. Right, question 2.
What do you eat and drink between events to refuel?
What do you eat and drink?
Well, to be honest, not a lot, because I get really nervous on comp days, and I just find that I can't eat. So when I first started, all I would eat was jelly babies, and that isn't great, obviously, because you're not getting anything into you. So I have now taken to a company, and I'm going to mention them because I really want them to sponsor me, called Precision Hydration, and honestly, it is fantastic, and I've been using that all this year. and it's carb and electrolytes in a drink, so that's fine because you're getting your carbs in, and it's obviously just a drink.
Yeah.
And they do like chew bars, which aren't like those horrible gels that make you just shit yourself.
Oh, I quite like a gel.
No, I don't like them. But it's like Turkish Delight,
Oh.
and it's high carbs. So that is pretty much all I eat on a comp day, unless there's like Europe's, we had loads of time, didn't we, between each one. If there was like, I think there was like an hour and a half between some of those events, so I could eat like a banana or something, but I'm not. I see other people eating full on, like you had like a full on chicken salad.
Yeah, I did.
And I just couldn't do that. So yeah, precision hydration.
No, if it's a fast-paced comp, I won't usually eat anything. I'll just drink like water, Lucozades, and like I do like them isotonic gel things. So I'll eat a couple of them, or like squares bars, stuff that's like light and not going to sit heavy.
Yeah.
But then in between Europes, because I had such a big amount of time, I did have like chicken and rice. And that actually did sit really well, like, because it's obviously something that I eat on a really regular basis. It just went in really easy. I didn't eat like a full meal, but I'd eat like half of it in between each event, and that works really well for me. So I enjoyed that a lot, and it made me feel better at the end of the day, because sometimes I think if you don't eat through the comp day, by the end of the day, you're fucking ruined, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And I didn't feel as bad as I expected after Europe's in terms of like hunger, which was good, because obviously I couldn't binge out, because then we were having to weigh in for this 5 days later.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to that kind of question, like if whoever's asked it has asked it in terms of because they want to know for themselves, it's really personal preference.
Yeah, 100%.
Like it's just what works for you, and it's only trial and error where you're going to find that out.
Exactly, and it needs to be foods that you're eating regularly. Don't change what you're going to do on comp day.
Don't just eat something really random.
Yeah, because it just throws you fucking straight out of sync, and like the worst thing to do on comp day is have a funny tummy. We've all been there. But
it's not good.
Right, next question.
How many times a week do you... Oh, my hand was covering the thing. Hello. Oh. How many times a week do you train? And is it just strength or cardio and mobility? I think this is going to be different for both of us.
Well, I train... At the moment, I've been training 4 times a week, but I'm going to drop it to 3, because I did my last off season on 3, and I loved it. It was really, like, I found it a lot easier to recover from, so I think I'm going to drop my training sessions in general to 3 now for strength. And then cardio, I'll do, coming up into a comp prep, I drop it right back to, like, 1 session a week, but not in, like, severe comp prep where I'm not having to, like, prioritise my recovery. I do at least 2 or 3 like cardio sessions a week, whether that be like elliptical or like running.
Yeah.
And then obviously like I've had a lot of like injuries this year, so basically every session that I've done has been involving some form of rehab and recovery anyway.
And mobility.
Yeah, for mobility and stuff like that. So I just do that on a reggie anyway.
Yeah, I'm the same with that actually. It does depend on where I'm at in my prep. Like if I've got a comp coming up, how well recovered I'm feeling is how many times I'll train. I'll do 4 like specific strongman training sessions a week, programmed by Molly Wagstaff, and then I'll do 1 strength and conditioning session with a PT who I've seen for like the last couple of years, Kurt Woodburn, and actually the last sort of 6 months that has turned into more looking after my knee and shoulder, which is where I tend to get an injury site. So like just focusing on strengthening those little things that you probably wouldn't focus on in a strongman session.
Yeah.
And then normally before I injured my knee at UK and Islands, I would run. So I would generally do like 1 cardio day as well. So I'd train 6 days if I wasn't like getting super close to a comp.
Yeah.
But I've not been able to run since UK and Islands because my knee's been really bad. So I've just been focusing on high steps on those two other days really.
Yeah.
And then mobility is in every session. It's just part of my warm up and part of my cool down.
Yeah. I think it's good to have like a good balance of everything. You don't want to, like, obviously when you're coming up to comp, you're focusing on like your strength sessions, but
Yeah.
you don't want to lose out on everything. It's better being like, if you can, a little bit more of a hybrid athlete.
Definitely,
like,
yeah.
Just one trick.
Keeping the fitness up for me, I think, is key.
Well, this year has been the year I've probably been the fittest I've ever been, because this is the year where I've like actually been running and like focusing on cardio, and I've found it comps a lot easier.
Yeah.
And like transitions in between events and stuff like that. Like I've noticed when I finish events, I'm nowhere near as out of breath as I used to be. Like it used to take me ages to recover.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like within 90 seconds, I'm back. Like I can breathe fine and I'm like all right. And I think that's just down to focusing a bit more on cardio.
Definitely, I think that is key with a lot of it.
Next question.
How much protein do you eat in a day? Eat clean or binge out? That's 2 questions.
I don't really know. I've been on meal plan with Bex, so she does it all. So I will actually have macros, but usually you go in for like 1.5 grams to 2 grams per kilo body weight of protein, aren't you? They're like the
Yeah,
goals.
generally, yeah. So I do my own nutrition plan, and I try and stay between 160 and 200 grams of protein a day.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the lower end. 160 is twice my 2 grams per kilo of body weight, and then because of the type of training that we're doing, like heavy, I try and get it up to that 200 really, just to help in recovery and things.
Yeah.
Eat clean or binge out?
I'm a bit of both. No, I've been pretty good. And to be fair, I was talking to Bex about it the other day though, and I was saying how like I've had to lose like 8 kilos in 3 months, very much down to my own fault for not sticking to the plan and like going out for barbecues and stuff like that. Because I am really bad at being led astray on food, but it's just so tasty. I can't say no. So I am really bad, but I think from being with Bex and like putting these habits in, I've got a lot better, instead of just like throwing the baby out with the bathwater and being like, well, I've had a pizza now, so I might as well just give up and like binge out and then just starve myself.
You just curb it.
Yeah, like I'm better at going, right, we've had a little bit of a like taking the mick moment. Now let's pull it back in, get back onto nutrition for a little bit, focus on like good stuff, and then add in like the odd little treat here and there, and that's worked way better for me. But that's just a habit that like I think Bex is now ingrained into me, which has worked really, really well.
And that's finding balance as well, isn't it? Just learning about it all.
Yeah, 100%. You're not a very big binge eater though, are you?
No, not at all. I'm massively a clean eater.
Even your like binge food's a bit healthy. Like that flapjack you had the other day that had like fucking seeds in it, and I was like, this isn't flapjack. Seeds and fucking fruit and shit.
Yeah, I am massively
A way to ruin
whole. I like to eat as whole as possible. I don't like takeaways. This is just generally, I think, if you knew me 10 years ago, I was beers 5 nights a week, takeaways, frozen food, and I was like so unhealthy. But the main thing about that was that it was massively having a knock-on effect to my mental well-being. So I think just through my job and like learning about it all, and really wanting to be better within myself, I just genuinely enjoy eating proper food now, and like just I turn down a takeaway over a homemade meal any day. It's not for me. And the proof is in the pudding, because you made me have a Domino's after UK and Ireland, and I've basically not stopped shitting myself since.
I don't think I made you have a Domino's. We all chose together to have a Domino's.
Very late.
And unfortunately it was just a very bad Domino's, and it's ruined all of our intestines.
We've all got worms now.
All got worms. It did genuinely feel like we had worms for a little bit. It was really bad, that pizza.
Awful.
It sort of put me off Domino's forever, but then there's that hideaway place at Darlington that does the big pizza challenge.
Yeah.
That is like the best pizza I've ever had. So I feel like now I wouldn't choose to go to Domino's. Like if I was going to get pizza, I'd go there.
Is that fresh pizza?
Yeah, they make it like in a pizza oven there.
Well, that is going to be better.
Yeah, it's well nice. So I feel like I've completely gone off Domino's, whereas Domino's used to be like one of my favourite things ever. Like it was one of my go-to takeaways, and now it's been ruined forever by Morecambe.
I did have an Achilles heel of Biscoff.
Oh yeah, you are a bit of a Biscoff like.
Yeah, but then
pre-pan,
when I was ill, like a month or so ago when I got that sickness bug and I was like terribly, terribly ill for 24 hours. It was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
And the day before I got that sickness bug, I'd eaten this new chocolate bar that I'd discovered, which was, I don't really eat stuff like that anyway, but it was chocolate filled with Biscoff. Like insane, but obviously hyper processed. And I'd eaten that, and I'm pretty sure they're unrelated. But then I got this awful sickness bug for 24 hours, and I couldn't move, and I was dying. And I feel like that did that. So I've not even eaten that since then.
Oh no, it's put you off Biscoff.
It actually has.
That's a sad day.
I know. It's just processed food. We're not going to put it in our body,
I know, but it's so tasty. If they didn't want to stay here, they'd make it not as tasty. So delicious. Right, next question.
Do you perm the mullet?
No, I don't perm the mullet. The mullet is natty curly, but it's not natty, obviously, this colour. I dye it with henna and indigo, but I didn't used to have curly hair, though. When I was younger, it was really, really straight, and then I had it bleach blonde, really straight for years and years and years. And obviously I got to a point where I was like, right, I'm going to be an adult now and not have bleach blonde white hair. And I went to the hairdresser and they were like, you're going to have to just cut it off. And I was like, right, so...
What, like shave it off?
No, they cut it into a bob, but by that point I'd already gone too far and I thought, fuck it, I might as well just shave it off. Like, what's the point in having a bob? So I went back and shaved it off. And then when it grew back, it grew back curly.
That is so weird.
So
you shaved your head?
Yeah, I shaved my head in... What's the year now? It will have been, I was 18 when I shaved my head, so 10 years ago.
I love how that started with, right, I need to be an adult and not have blonde hair, I'm going to shave my head.
Yeah.
And now you've got half and half.
Genius. I was being so clever. Such a grown adult. Yeah, when I shaved it, I went back to see my mum, and my mum was like, you look like a lesbian cancer patient. I was like, oh, thanks, mum. Good support network.
Wow.
Cheers. But yeah, I didn't look great. I then dyed it as well, because once I had it all shaved off, I was aware of how bad it looked. So I got it bleached blonde, and I just looked like Eminem. It was really bad. It's taken a long time to grow out, God. So yeah.
I think it looks nice, the curliness now.
Yeah, when it was really long, before I chopped it into a mullet, it was really nice. Like, it was really, really curly, but it's still quite curly as a mullet.
So you've only recently got this mullet, haven't you? Because last year at England, you had long hair.
Yeah, no. But I feel like it's sort of like, I've always had the mullet now. Everyone sort of knows me as the mullet person.
Everyone knows you're the mullet, but...
Yeah, I know.
It's only been like the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's not been that long, but I feel like it's just ingrained in my personality now as part of me, and I feel like I can't change it.
Yeah, because you did think about growing it for the wedding, didn't you? And then you were like, no.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I knew I wouldn't be able to grow it out long enough for it to be like long hair. Like, it was going to be short, wasn't it? It was going to be like a bob, and I just thought that's going to look so shit. So I just thought, fuck it, I'd rather have a mullet. At least I'll look back and laugh at the wedding photos. Like, they'll still be funny in like 20 years, won't they?
You'll still have the mullet in 20 years.
Probably, yeah. Right, next question.
If you could live and work anywhere, where would you be?
I actually would be here. I really like my life. I really enjoy it.
What, in Ireland?
No, not right now. No, my life at home. No, yeah. I really like it. Obviously I'm still a student, so I haven't got like my dream job. I would like to obviously have a very good physio job, a very good physio business of my own would be lovely. But I don't think I would ever move anywhere. I could be maybe persuaded to move to America.
Oh yeah.
Like Texas or somewhere where like you can just do what you want. Like, there's not as much like council and planning, and like the land's all like more wilderness, and just like, yeah, I could be persuaded for that, but it would have to be the right circumstance, and I'd have to be able to take all of my animals with me.
Yeah, I'm quite similar. Like, I really like my life as well. Like, and I really like where I live. I live in a lovely area.
Yeah.
And I really like my job. I think if I was, and also I have the choice, you know, if I wanted to be anywhere else, I could be. There's nothing stopping me.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes think about moving to Cornwall just because I really like being by the sea.
Yeah.
That's always.
I don't know how you deal with the people though. There's so many people in Cornwall. Like, it's so busy. If it was quiet, I would understand Cornwall, but it's
Well,
not.
there are quiet places, but Cornwall is basically the Lake District, isn't it? But by the sea.
Yeah.
So it's very similar where I live now.
Yeah.
But I live in the middle of nowhere, and there are places in the middle of nowhere in Cornwall.
Yeah, but then if you want to go to like the nice places, it's always going to be busy.
Yeah, not in off season. But yeah, I did actually. I've spent a lot of time in America, so I would. Yeah, that would be another option. I'd like to live in America as well. But I live where I live now because I do really like it.
If you could have a dream job, like a job that like you could just jump into now that you just think like, wow, that's really interesting, what would you do? I would like to be like someone in the police, but like not a policeman, like in the detective.
Does it have to be a real job, or can you like make it up? Like
you can make it up if you want.
Like being invisible.
That's not a job.
Well, I asked if it had to be a real job.
That's not a job. That's a fucking superpower. This is a completely different question. I'll ask you if you want a superpower in a minute.
Okay.
But first, what would your job be? Because I'd like to do murders. I'd like to find people who murdered people. I'm really into that homicide show on Netflix at the moment, and it's just got me like, I'm just like, oh my god, I'd love to find out this stuff. Like, I love finding out gossip. It's my favourite thing, and I feel like that would just be like the ultimate gossip. Who's
like
killed
murder gossip?
Murder gossip. Like, I'd be so into it.
It would be cool to like have like a really cool skill set. You know, like Liam Neeson on Taken, like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to be that.
What, you'd like to be like
or like 007.
Souped up private investigator?
Yeah, with like all the skills. No one can outskill me.
Do you know what I'd really like to be able to do? Fight really, really well. I'd love to be able to just know I could beat up anybody at any point in time. Like, you know, like MMA people where they're just like, you're walking down the street and like, if there was ever a bother, you're like, I could just...
well, that's like Liam Neeson, isn't it?
I could just handle myself.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, if someone punched me, I'd just cry.
No.
What would your superpower be then? Invisible?
Well, yeah, I'd like to be invisible. I sometimes think maybe it'd be cool to be able to fly, but if you were invisible, you could just go anywhere, couldn't you? You could get on a flight. I know you can't just fly over there, but like, it'd be much easier to get around.
I would rather be able to fly than be invisible, definitely. I feel like it would be so much easier. Imagine how easier this trip would have been.
Imagine all the gossip you could find out if you're invisible.
That's a very good point, yeah. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, but it's like you'd have to get to those places though, which would be easier done flying.
Yeah, but then you could just go everywhere first class, couldn't you?
Well, realistically then, if superpower choices were no option, I'd like to be invisible and fly.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That would be the ultimate superpower.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Next question.
If you killed the other person, what would your first meal be after burying the body?
Pamo.
A parmo? That thing that you had in Newcastle?
Yeah.
You made it on your hand in?
Yeah. If I killed you, I would probably have a parmo.
Celebrate with a parmo.
I don't think I'd bury you though. I'd have a better idea of getting rid of your body. You'd get found too easy that way.
Yeah, pigs.
Pigs, or like I'd probably septic tank you, dice you up, make sure your teeth were gone. Because they always get you on the teeth, don't they?
Never piss Becca off because she's obviously thought this through.
How would you kill someone and get rid of their body?
That wasn't even the question, so you've absolutely gone off kilter.
I like finding out different bits of information. The whole point of an interview.
Why would you celebrate with a parmo?
I just feel like it's my celebratory meal of choice. Like every time I have good news, I'd just go and get parmo. Like if I'm having a bad day, I'm like, you know what, cheer me up, parmo.
Well, I just love steak.
Oh god.
Favourite. A really decent steak meal.
I do like steak and potatoes, but parmo is just absolute elite level food.
But would steak remind me too much of your body that I've just killed?
That's a good point. Well, I wonder what human meat would be like though, because is it like red meat or is it white meat?
I think it's white.
Like pork?
Like pig, yeah.
Interesting. If you ever had the opportunity to eat human meat, would you eat it?
I don't think so.
I 100% would. As if you wouldn't. I 100% would try it.
Well, would you not want to know who it was?
Nah.
I'd have so many questions.
No, probably not. I wouldn't really care that much. I think I would just eat it just to see what it tasted like.
You're not that well, are you?
But I would also be really concerned that I'd get like mad cow disease, which I don't think is a thing. But because isn't that where cows eat cows and they get mad cow disease? That's probably wrong.
I'm not sure.
We need to fact check that. But I would definitely try somebody.
This podcast is not about facts.
Obviously not. It's the stupidest podcast we have out there. So what was the question?
Yeah, so the meal, what would
Parmo into
steak.
whichever steak. But you didn't answer me how you would get rid of a body.
Pigs.
Oh, pigs. Okay. Yeah, fair. That's a good idea.
Right, next question. I don't know who this one's aimed at. What's your sexuality?
Well, I'm very, very straight, unfortunately, for all of you lot. I know everyone thinks I'm gay. I'm not. And I am actually getting married to a man next weekend.
So she's taken as well.
Yeah, been together 10 years, probably about time to get married. So we're doing the thing, tying the knot.
I am also straight, and I am not about to get married. I am very single.
Hit her up if anyone's interested. The DMs are open.
On Instagram.
Tell the listeners what you're looking for. What sort of man are you looking for?
Somebody mentally stable.
Not a strong man, then.
I think
What are your requirements? What are your non-negotiables?
Well, it's easy to say aesthetically, isn't it? But when you have a bit of rapport with someone and a bit of crack, just somebody that's not too serious and that's. I mean, if I was doing the box ticking thing, then ideally I would like somebody that is mentally stable, got good crack, athletic. They don't have to be a strong man or anything like that, but obviously they need to understand,
look after their body.
I'd like them to be a bit competitive, really. And, just have the shit together, decent job, just have
a
ambition.
normal person.
Yeah, just a normal person that's not fucking off their head.
So if you're a normal person who's not off your head, slide in the
DMs. But sometimes it's funny that we've been asked that question because obviously me and Becca spend quite a bit of time together, and sometimes if there are guys around that are creeping around me that I don't appreciate, I'll pretend that me and Becca are lesbians.
Yeah, because I'm the token lookalike lesbian, apparently. Cool.
You got to have your uses, haven't you?
Well, it does work. The thing is, because of this, I don't really get hit on at all, ever, by anybody, which is great. It works a fucking treat.
I sometimes get hit on by creeps. Where are all the eligible bachelors?
Welcome to the world.
Okay. Haters, what are they saying?
I don't know. When I got this question, I didn't really know what the haters are saying. What do you think the haters are saying about you?
Nothing, so I don't think anyone knows who I am.
That's fair. That's fair. I think people probably don't like me because I come across quite arrogant.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough because I am. So.
I think that. I just don't think.
Do you know what? I think will be a better one. Why do you think people hate me? And I'll tell you why I think people hate you. Let's really test our friendship today. Okay. This hasn't been a hard enough journey. Let's make it much harder.
Why do I think people hate you? Well, you've said it because you're so arrogant.
You can't just use my own excuse.
Well, that was my thought, though.
Well, I think people might hate you because you're very by the book. You're very
square.
5 a.m. wake up club, let's go, we have a coffee, we get to work, we do our fucking jobs and we train, and we eat healthy and unprocessed food. You shouldn't be drinking.
I never say that. I never say that.
Only to me, when I've taken it far too far.
I think that I'm all right about that because that's just who I am now. And I think if I was trying to be somebody that I'm not, then that would offend me. But because I have not always been that square person, and I have been a very, very different person. That's fine.
Yeah.
I want to be this person now.
That's fair. Well, I accept you as that person, even though sometimes you're a bit annoying. I accept your squareness.
Good. I don't accept how arrogant you are sometimes. It's very annoying.
To be fair, it has been, I think, probably a little bit of a point of contention in our friendship on the run-up to this, because on the run-up to Irish Strength Cup, me and Molly were giving each other loads of shit in the group chat all of the time, which was really funny. But then on the run-up to Europe's, I don't think you were ready to take any of my shit. I tried it a couple of times and you were just not biting, not getting the bait at all.
But I think
so I pulled back because I thought I was just annoying you.
It's funny that you say that, because I don't bite because I don't see you as that person. Like, I know that you do that for the show, for the show to your fans,
to my fans.
I just feel like you're my annoying friend, and I don't care the shit that you're saying.
You never bite. You didn't bite at all, so I pulled it back. I thought you were getting really offended and worked up about it. But what I did like is when we were at yours training the other day, and you wouldn't tell me any of your lifts, and you were telling me that you wouldn't tell me anything because you didn't want me to know because it was going to be a surprise on comp day. I thought that was really funny. I enjoyed that a lot, even though it wasn't really shit talking, but it made me feel like I'd really got into your head.
I think you overthink things.
Welcome to my life.
Right, so yeah, basically, no one knows who I am, so I've got no haters. Everyone hates you because you're so obnoxious.
Yep, fair. Right, next question.
Well, I don't know if we're going to do this one, but who's the most controversial person in Strongman?
Oh yeah, we can do this one, but we'll do it light-hearted because I feel like, well, we'll say it. Strongman's got a little bit dark this week, and I think the shine's been taken off a lot of stuff. So to not make it any darker, let's just do stupid ones. So my most controversial person is going to be Mitchell Hooper for doing quarter squats at Shaw Classic. Come on, do a proper squat. Everyone else did. Well, a few other people did, but
Yeah.
he'd done a whole like explaining video as well about it. But I can't be asked to sit down and listen to 30 minutes of him talking.
Oh, so he's actually explained why he did that?
I think so, but I haven't watched the video, so I don't really know. Someone can fact check me on that, but I'm not just listening to that human thumb talk for 30 minutes. I've got better things to do.
Wow, okay, let's move on.
Absolute beef. Come at me, Mitchell Hooper.
I think from that answer, you are the most controversial person in Strongman.
Fair.
Okay, last question. How many fucks do you give that you upset people with your 0 reps dumbbell interview?
This is my favourite question. I'm so sad someone did it anonymously because I wish I knew who'd said it, because hilarious. But also, if you were upset about that dumbbell interview, then I don't think Strongman's for you.
I feel, when you
Did you get upset about the dumbbell interview? Because you were one of the ones that zeroed it.
No. I don't get upset by anything that you say.
Because most of the time you're not listening.
But I think, yeah, anything like that. I have strong views on stuff like this in general life, not just strongman. But if you're getting upset if you're sweating the small stuff like that, you need a therapist.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Just chill out.
Well, I feel like at the end of the day, it's a competition, and yeah, we're all friends and we all get on really, really well. And I would never actively do something to make someone do badly. But if my success requires someone else to do badly, I'm not going to be gutted when they do badly. I'm going to be buzzing, aren't I?
Yeah.
I think it's a natural reaction for anybody, just people won't admit it. So I just admitted it live on live stream. Lol.
That's why you've got so many haters.
I didn't think it was that offensive, and everyone did do shit. If you're not pressing a 50 kilo dumbbell, then
train it more.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's just fucking part of it, isn't it? But I think it's a general thing though in the under 82s at the moment that overhead's not a strong point in I think in strong woman in general. You've obviously got outliers who are really, really good at overhead, but the general consensus, how many big shows, especially the untested shows, how many big untested shows have we been to where majority of the pack zero the overhead.
Yeah.
Apart from England's, where it was set so late, it was a rep fest. Like,
Yeah.
there's no happy in between at the moment, I think, because there's such a big gap between top of the pack and like middle bottom of the pack. So I think that's where like the overhead issue sort of lies. But like, just fucking get better at overhead. Most of the time it's a technique issue, and technique is like learnable thing. It's not a thing that's going to take you fucking years to grow, like strength.
Yeah.
It's a technique thing that you can work on for a couple of months and it like instantly add. Like, say you're push pressing now, a couple of months learning how to split jerk or push jerk, instantly 20-25% on your overhead lifts. Like, you're just being fucking lazy if you're not learning it.
Yeah. I think, I agree. It's a lot of technique, and I can agree. Normally I have no idea what you're on about, but I can agree because I'm in that journey right now. And I've not got particularly stronger. I think I was strong anyway, but it's my technique that I've massively tried to work on in this last sort of year. So.
Yeah, 100%. And it's made massive differences though, hasn't it? Like, how long have you fucking struggled with the 80 kilo log, and now you've got a decent split jerk behind you, and you hit it easily as well. Like, it wasn't like it was a hard fought rep.
Yeah.
It was piss.
Right, that's it.
That's it. So that's the end of our Q&A. Is there anything else you want to say to the people while you're here? You've got time. Tell us your opinions on life if you want.
Got nothing to say.
Such a good podcast guest. We're back for Silly Goose, and we have the Silly Goose Meister herself ready to sing the song live for the people. I'm going to do the goose honk. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Come on then.
Silly goose, it's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose, it's silly goose time. where we chat a load of shit for absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
Perfect. I feel like we should be booked to do that more often.
We should.
If you want to book us for your wedding to do the Silly Goose song, let us know.
We're not cheap.
We're not cheap. Oh no, we aren't cheap. We're at all. Card. Don't give your card details away on the pod.
Oh yeah.
On the podcast. Let's just go through this toll. This 1,000,000th toll that we've had to go through in Ireland.
This is also another stressful point because Becca's phone's sellotaped to the windscreen at the moment with a card in the back.
Professional.
And I carry nothing with me.
Obviously. Because why would you bring any form of money or identity to a foreign country?
You're going to have to get your card out, Emma. I don't have a card. What?
Honestly, today's just been never-endingly hard.
I'm having a great time.
You're fucking doing nothing, that's why. Of course we're having a great time. We'll get through this. Get through this toll.
The tolls always remind me of that film.
Why is that noise? What film?
That Liam Rimes film where they dance on the bar. What's it called?
Are you alright? I don't know. What is it
Can't
called?
bite the moonlight. She sings on the stage. You must know it. The viewers now will be going mental shouting the name of it. Coyote Ugly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when a dad is like, hit the lights, guys.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes.
I always want to ask them to do that. Okay, silly goose time.
Silly Goose. This is courtesy of Keldo.
Would you rather fight one T-Rex sized Dean McVie or 100 horse sized ones?
So me and Keldo have discussed this before because his original question to me was, would you fight one horse sized Dean McVie or 100 duck sized Dean McVies? And my original answer was 100 duck sized Dean McVies, because in my head that's a duck is like similar size to a Barbie. So like Dean McVie Barbie size.
A duck is not a similar size to a Barbie. A duck's way bigger than a Barbie.
No, in terms of like height, it's going to be the same size as a fucking Barbie. What type of duck are you thinking of?
A mallard. Specifically.
Specifically. I was just thinking like runner duck size. So like that's the size of a Barbie.
I'd say a runner duck was definitely bigger than a Barbie. But anyway.
Well, how are we ever going to find that out? We'll never know. But anyway, yeah, I originally picked the duck-sized Dean McVies because I feel like 100 of them, you can kick a load of them over in one go with like one sweeping kick.
Yeah, but have you met Dean McVie? He's pretty fucking feisty.
Yeah, but like a big horse-sized Dean McVie, that's like a big, like, how tall is that person going to be? Like 8-9 feet? Nah, I'm not fighting an 8-9 feet Dean McVie. Not a chance.
Well,
But,
the ducks aren't in this question.
yeah, so moving on then, you would think I would choose the horse. No. Because if it's a normal sized horse, like, I don't know.
That's big.
Yeah, it's a big thing, isn't it? Whereas, and you've got 100 of them, you're never going to be able to overpower 100 of them. Whereas one massive one, you'd hope that it's going to be slightly clumsy and slower. So I would fight the T-Rex sized Dean McVie in the hope that it probably had like a soft spot, you know, like a dragon. When they've got like a soft spot there, you can always get them and kill them. You've just got to hit the arrow in like
If
the
you
perfect
think
point.
if you think about Dean McVie, he is quite similar to a T-Rex. They are.
Is Dean McVie going to kill you?
He has got short arms, hasn't he?
Dean McVie's going to murder you.
Dean McVie isn't going to murder you. We're good friends.
Shut up. But yeah, but how big's the T-Rex though? Like bigger than an
Huge.
elephant? That's massive.
Yeah.
Which one would you fight then?
It's a bit of a dilemma, this question, because like, no, I wouldn't want to fight 100 horse-sized anything. A horse big and 100 of them.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like
So
the
I
one
think,
big thing would
yeah,
be better.
you've got more chance. But if you did have 100 horse-sized Dean McVies, could you jump on one of the backs and ride away? Or would it just turn against you?
I feel like it's going to turn against you. What if the horses weren't like normal size horses and they were Shetland ponies? Shetland pony sized Dean McVies, so like 3 foot tall.
Yeah, they're also Shetland ponies. I mean,
well, I think even at 3 foot tall, 100 is going to be a lot. It's like fighting 100 dwarves.
yeah.
And I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Got better chance going with one T-Rex size Dean McVie, although that is terrifying because Dean McVie on a bad day.
I wonder where your cut-off point is for like sizes of things, because like the ducks, yeah.
If
no
it was
bother.
duck, I'd go with duck.
100 duck sized things, yeah, would fight. But anything I think bigger than a duck, I would pick the one big thing.
Yeah.
Just
Same.
because it would be easier. Whereas like anything like duck size, you could just kick a load of ducks over, couldn't you? Like bowl, like
Yeah.
Skittles.
Although, yeah, mini Dean McVie is a lot of aggression there.
I know. I wonder if you have weapons. If he had weapons
It's not
and
all
I
weapons,
had
definitely
weapons,
not.
then it would be different. I think because I feel like if it was weapon on weapon, it would always be the one. Whereas if he was unarmed and I was unarmed, be the 100 ducks or the one giant. If you had to like, when we did our last podcast and we were saying what sort of animal would you fight with your bare hands, like what's the biggest animal that you could fight with your bare hands in an octagon and kill? What was your pick? Just out of curiosity.
What? I have to choose an animal and fight with my bare hands.
Yeah, so the question was, as if you didn't even listen to the podcast, that's so rude.
There's
But-
been a lot.
There's not. We've literally done one episode since that one. So rude. But anyway,
A lot.
So if you have to fight this animal, you have to kill it, but you only have your bare hands, you're in an octagon. So how big, like what's the biggest size animal you reckon you could take down? Because my reckoning was a deer, like a female deer. I reckon I could take that down and kill it with my bare hands.
Yeah, they're not huge, are they? A female deer.
No. And I reckon you could wrestle it to the ground
Yeah,
and then probably like
And they're
stamp its head in.
yeah. I think you could probably break its leg quite easily as well. Quite
Well,
spangly.
Someone, because I've had a lot of discussions about this, it's been a point of topic, which is quite funny. But then some people don't like talking about it because they're like, "Why would you kill animals?" Well, it's a hypothetical situation. I'm not actually going to go and break a load of deer legs, am I?
Those people are offended at your dumbbell interview.
Well, you need
It's
to
the same kind of people.
you need to stop being fucking wet wipes, don't you? But yeah, because someone was saying if it was like, because it would kick a lot, wouldn't it? Like a deer's going to kick a lot, but I reckon you could break its legs pretty easy.
Yeah,
They're just going to be like twigs, aren't
They're
they?
really spangly, yeah.
Hmm.
A
And then
deer's a good shout.
once it's not on its legs, it's useless and it's a blob.
Yeah, because I think if like a deer isn't, if you chose
I couldn't do
like a leopard or something, that's getting you.
Yeah, 100%. You wouldn't have a chance. Yeah, because someone was saying to me like a big dog. I don't think I could kill a big
Dogs.
dog.
But also, dogs vicious. I don't think a deer is vicious, is it?
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, you've got something like a dog's going to fight back, innit, if you're trying to kill it. Whereas a deer is probably just going to give up.
Yeah.
Probably just going to back down. Do you know, it would be interesting to try and see if you could kill like a really big snake.
I saw
Like,
this.
would you be able to strangle a snake out before it strangled you out?
No.
Its head's only going to be that big, so you've just got to be able to like.
Yeah, but then it's getting around you, isn't it? While you're trying to do that.
Yeah, you'd have to be able to do it fast before it got you and like squished you. I wonder whether it would suffocate you first, or whether it would crush all your bones in first and like perforate all your organs.
Yeah, it would probably do that because it'd be going tighter the whole time.
Yeah, but would you suffocate first, or would your internal organs all just be mushed?
Oh yeah, you would.
How would you die?
You would get mushed. You would get squished.
I think you would.
And then just internally bleed.
Yeah, so you'd still end up really suffocating.
Well, yeah. Did you see, there was a news article this week about a man went to the toilet, this is real, and there was a snake in the toilet and it bit one of his balls and there was like blood everywhere.
Why was there a snake in the toilet?
I don't know, I didn't read that far on.
No, that's absolutely
There's a picture
terrible.
of the toilet with all blood though.
They used to, one of my friends from school, when we were really, really young, we used to go to their house and they had, her younger brother had pet snakes. I don't know if he had multiples, but I remember going there once and they were like, oh, be really, really careful because the snakes got out. Like, it was like a python or something. Oh no, what's happened here? Crash. I've got to slow that down.
Python got out?
Yeah, like a python. It wasn't like a massive one. Oh, it's a bed smash. It wasn't a massive one. It was only like 3 or 4 feet or something. But it was like loose in the house, like, and they couldn't find it. And it was just like roaming around. And we were all just like, should we be sleeping here? Like, is it gonna kill us in the nighttime? It was a little bit of a concern, but we did sleep there and it was fine. None of us died. So.
Did you find it?
I don't think they ever did.
Oh my god.
I don't think they ever did. No, it just vanished into the ether.
Have you ever lost any pets?
Not pets. Obviously lost birds because, like,
they fly away.
Yeah, they've got the one up, haven't they? They're doing the one thing.
They're very dramatic here, aren't they, with accidents?
Yeah, that man was like doing like bird arms to slow people down, but it was like so like
whimsical.
Slow down, everybody, slow down. Yeah.
Oh
well, but that's pretty good, Silly Goose. I think we'll call it there. Got very off track.
Yeah, we did.
A lot of death.
Just, I'm going to tell you this story about my ex-boyfriend who, a couple of boyfriends ago.
Is this making it into the podcast too?
Yeah, lost his hamster.
I already am going to fucking love this story. I love a dead hamster story.
So, they lost it for ages and then one day, his mum, they were only young, I just never have forgotten this. His mum was cleaning the house and she picked the cushion sofa up and she was like, you know when you like do that dust thing?
Yeah.
She was like smacking the cushion and the hamster had like eaten through the cushion because they eat like stuff like that, don't they?
Yeah.
And it was in the cushion and then as she was smacking it, it just dropped out, she killed it.
Do you know what though? Was it actually definitely dead?
I don't know.
Because hamsters play dead, you know. So, like, people will, like, bury their hamsters because they've played dead because something terrible's happened, and then they're not actually dead. Like, they're actually alive, but they just pretend to be dead.
Well, if Mark Taylor or Neil Hartley are watching this podcast, then was it actually dead?
Was your hamster actually dead? Did you double check? Did you listen to that hamster's heartbeat? Because it could have still been alive.
You've just buried your alive hamster.
Oh no! Oh no! This is taking a turn for the worse. Well, that's a really sad ending to this podcast. So, well, if you really like death, then this has been a great one for you. And if you don't, sorry, you're a snowflake. Fuck off. We'll see you next time.